Good morning, everybody. Auronnj here with another Final Fantasy VII EverCrisis video, and today we're going to be talking about multiplayer in EverCrisis, because yes, there is multiplayer in Final Fantasy VII EverCrisis. It's fun and it's rewarding. So let me tell you what it is, what it isn't, show you what the rewards are, and talk about how it's something you're going to want to do if you're playing this game after release. Okay, so real quick, what is multiplayer not? At least right now, multiplayer is not PvP. There's no PvP in this beta. I don't know if there will be PvP eventually in this game. Personally, I hope there is some PvP because I like that in my games, but I know there's a ton of you out there who hate PvP in your games because you feel like it pressures you to spend money to keep up with the meta, and I do understand all of that. Just know whichever side of that argument you're on, it might not matter because there is currently not PvP in this game. The multiplayer instead is you and two other players picking one person, one of your units, to group up and fight a boss. You access the multiplayer by clicking multiplayer content, and then right now I can't actually access any lobbies because during the beta we've been very restricted to only certain hours during the day where we can do multiplayer. I believe that's going away once the game is live, but for now it's very restrictive. What you're seeing on the screen right now is the multiplayer fights. So once you can either create a lobby or join a lobby, you can invite your friends, you can enter specific room IDs. It's what you'd expect from a gacha multiplayer like party creation system, but once you're in there, once you're challenging the mob, it's going to force you to fight at 1x speed. This is one of the parts of the game where you're not going to want to turn on 2x speed, I don't think, and you can't even if you wanted to, because when it's one of your units and two other players, you might want to focus on syncing up your limit breaks a little bit to do most damage. You might need to focus on breaking the boss's break meter when they're charging a special move to keep your group alive. You are capable of fighting some very powerful bosses in this multiplayer mode, and since you only have one character to control, you can laser focus a little bit and try to be very efficient with how you're playing. Unless you're on voice comms with the players you're with, which is unlikely unless you and your friends are like syncing up on Discord or something. If you're the healer, you need to kind of watch the fight a little bit if you want your Aerith throwing out Curagas and keeping your group alive. I think that 1x speed is a good thing for multiplayer, especially if you're trying to fight bosses that are a higher power level than what your team might be recommended to fight. Also, another really fun thing that I found with multiplayer is if you build a more obscure character, like the first soldier characters. I haven't seen a ton of them in the multiplayer that I've done, but if you had one of those really built up, it would be a good time to flex that character, kind of show off who your favorite unit in the game is to other actual real players. That's something that offline games are missing, and it's something that I miss whenever I am playing an offline game, and I like to do that. So that is what it is, just a little, show off what you've built. I think that's fun. I think it's a valuable part of any online game. So, okay, you fight the mobs, you do the multiplayer. Why should you do it? Well, for one, it's a really important way for earning a lot of experience for a specific character you might be trying to level up. When you're earning experience in Final Fantasy VII EverCrisis, when you're playing through the story, every character in your unit roster gains the experience you earn when you're doing story missions. But when you go to that side content, when you're doing content like the power up your weapon, the daily quests, the enhancement quests, those are things that will earn you experience for just your party. With multiplayer, it earns you experience for just the one unit, and from what I've seen so far, it earns you more experience than any of the other game modes. So if you want to really boost up one of your unit's levels, multiplayer is a good place to do that. Also, you will earn medals in multiplayer. I about call them tokens. They're medals. And if you go to the shop and you go to the medal exchange shop, you can click multiplayer medals and you'll see there's very valuable rewards in here. It's worth doing in terms of the game, just the rewards are worth it. Every month you can earn a 10 pull from playing multiplayer. That's great. There is a stock of one guaranteed 5-star pull in here. There's materials here, like here's Cloud's memories, which are for his stream nodes. If you don't know, you can increase your character's power in this game by leveling them up. Obviously, leveling up their gear, also pretty obvious, but characters have a character stream where you spend these memories to just give them like more HP, more attack, more defense, things like that. This is a good place to earn 10 of these memories every month for all of the characters. So you're going to want to farm that out. There's also materia leveling materials in here. There's this right here. This is the actual picture of Lapis from FFBE, or this is from other Final Fantasy gacha games. If you know, you know, but this is for materia creation. Those mats are in here as well. And so you're probably going to want to come in here, get your monthlies done every month, because those rewards are well worth it. And then these materials at the bottom, these are something that you can get an unlimited amount of for fairly cheap, save you a little bit of other grinding, but you're definitely going to want that 5-star ticket, and you're definitely going to want to do your tin pull every month from the metal exchange. So that's a little bit of a basic breakdown of the multiplayer. Right now, like I said, we are very limited in what we can experience. The next 3 days, we're going to get access to another boss besides the Scorpion Sentinel. We'll see how that goes. I've seen some fairly high level, mostly clouds so far. I feel like everybody in the beta is focusing on Cloud, which makes sense. They give you the Buster Sword 5-star materials for free. He's a featured banner character in the beta. It makes a lot of sense, but I hope that once we get into the real game, we see some Aeriths floating around, some Zax floating around, whatever other characters they're going to introduce, because there is a really big opportunity in this game to keep introducing a lot more characters from the expanded Final Fantasy VII universe. I'm looking forward to that as I'm learning more about the expanded universe myself just by playing these games. I never played First Soldier. I'm enjoying what little bit they're giving us, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of that. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. A lot more evercrisis beta content coming out, and then once the game launches, you know we'll be hitting it really, really hard. I'm going to try to work on some like tier list material. I don't know exactly how tier lists are going to work in this game. Is it going to be characters in a role with weapons for that role? There's a lot of data crunching to do still, so that'll all be pre-launch. Anyway, what I'm saying is subscribe to the channel, please. Helps me out if you do, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.